All right, welcome to Holy Chicks Dropping Nuggets podcast. I am T.
I am Toni.
Hey. And we are bringing you all things holy and bringing you just real life stories from a holy perspective.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
You know, it can be hard out here in these streets, hard out here for a sister to live holy, a brother to live holy. So we're just going to keep it real with y'all, tell y'all some real stories and, you know,
drop some nuggets
on how y'all can stay holy living through all of this. Okay.
Keep it together.
I know last time we talked about like Godships and how we met and our relationship and how we formed that Godship. And, you know, Godship to us is just, well, I'll say what it is to me. It's just any relationship that is ordained by God, you feel like has been, you know, brought to you by God. And it's just a fellowship and a relationship. And like you said, it's just something that builds you up. Yes. And what is Godship to you?
Godship to me is a relationship that elevates you, a relationship or friendship that makes you want to go higher, to do more, to be the better or best you can be.
Right.
You know, they really stretch you to your maximum and really help you to reach those goals that, you know,
that you need to reach, because they should be able to compliment you. In any relationship you are in, they should be able to compliment you either way. So on this episode, this is called Know Your Friend, 2 halves, a quarter, and a dime.
Amen to that. 2 halves, a quarter, and a dime.
Know your friend, okay? Okay. Because we all know that there are levels to this thing. Like you said, every friend, every Godship should be able to take you to the next level. And there are levels to every friendship.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about those levels.
Let's
2 halves, a quarter, and a dime.
Yes, ma'am.
So let's go deep. We're about to go deep on this thing.
So stay tuned.
All right, so where you want to start? Know your friend?
Yeah, know your friend.
All
so it's so funny because I think it was like like a few months we hadn't spoken to each other. And
it's our little friend hiatus.
Yeah, you just randomly text me and was like, let's go to lunch. I'm like, okay.
I missed my friend, okay?
So we're having lunch and like we're looking at the menu and I'm like, T, do you like onions? And she looked at me and was like,
girl,
know
your friend, okay?
What?
I don't like onions, nothing onion. So if we gonna be friends, if I might have to call you and be like, girl, go get me a sub. You gonna know, don't you put onions on my sub.
Onions on that.
And know your friend. Okay.
So when she said that, it registered in my spirit like, oh wow, know your friend. Like we said it in like a joking matter, but really it's so much deeper than that. I believe a lot of people are in friendships or relationships and they really don't know the other person. Right. You know, you understand what I'm saying? Like you can know somebody, but do you really know them? Right. You understand? Do you know what they like? Do you know what they don't like? You know, so many times people get into relationships and it's so funny. They don't know middle names. They don't know favorite colors. Right. They don't know favorite movies. You know, back in the day, before, you know, people did like crazy things and just said, you my bestie. Like people really understood and really knew each other. Excuse me. And I think even with our Godship, I think we were able to develop that relationship and knowing your friend. So that's how the whole know your friend came about. Over onions. Can you believe that?
Onions.
All right, so we about to peel back the layers. Amen.
Let's peel back the layers of that onion. You know what I'm saying?
Love it.
And then, so the 2 halves, a quarter, and a whole. This one hit me different, okay? This one hit me so different because we went out for your birthday.
Yes, we did.
This is recently too. So it's funny how it all worked together. So we went out for your birthday and we were in the car talking and we were just generally talking about friendships and how do you know if somebody is your friend and how many friends do you have? And, you know, most of the time people will say, oh, I have friends or I have associates. But no. Sis hit me with, well, girl, I got 2 holes, 2 halves, a quarter, and a dime.
So true.
Women, what?
Percentages.
The first thing I needed to know was, am I a hoe?
Yes, ma'am. You are one of the hoes. I got 2, and you're one of the hoes, and I got 2 halves.
I needed to know where I was in these fractions.
And a dime, I'm telling you.
2 halves, 2 quarters, and a dime. Oh my gosh, girl. So just explain that Like, what makes a person a whole? What makes a person a half? What makes a person a quarter and then a dime? It's the dime for me, y'all.
The whole time.
The tithe. The 10%. Give the 10% to your friend. Explain those a little bit.
So basically, I have not always been like the best of friend. You know, I've been a terrible friend, an awful friend, and, you know, a really good friend. I'm in that really good friend state right now, just to let y'all know. You know, but prior to that, what really made me break down my friendships is like, what do I want out of my friendships and what are they giving me? One of the things I said about our Godship is that we grow from each other. You know, you compliment me and I compliment you. That's what makes you my whole. Right. You know, and I can call you at any time of night. I can tell you anything and you wouldn't dare judge me. In the same token, you'd be like, Antoinette, Tony, now you know that ain't right. So I'm gonna need you, or try to figure out a way to do it this way, but still no judgmental. Right. And it's not a situation where you just agree with me, but then, you know, you'll go home and talk about me to someone else. It's not a situation like that. So that's what I consider my holes. So you are my hole, and then my twin sister, I'm identical twin. Love you, Ashley.
I love you too, Ashley.
And that's my other, you know, hole. Obviously, you know, we share the womb together. You know, we've been through everything together. But those are my holes. Those are the people that I know I can go to with no judgmental. And not only that, but there's not a whole lot of drama with you. Girl. Like, very minimum. Very, 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 as a matter of fact, like nothing. Like negative.
Like -0. You know, because I ain't for it. Because I leave first. See you. Bye. I can't do it.
So that's how I came up with my holes. My friends, the people around me that I can depend on 100%. That's my hole.
Oh, no.
You are my hole.
I love you.
And then I have my halves.
Okay.
Okay. So I have my halves where they're my good friends, but they're not friends. There's certain things I would not release to these friends. There's certain things I just wouldn't tell them. So they're my 50%ers. You know, I'll give them 50% of some things, and some things I'll hold back. And maybe the reason why I put them at 50%, maybe some of these friends can't handle the full truth.
Come on.
You know, so if I get too truthful, then it's going to become a fight.
Right.
And now I'm being judgmental, blah, blah, blah. But really, I'm only looking out for your well-being. So I have those friends that I keep at 50%. Not disclosing any names.
I like what you said. You keep them at 50%. It's not that they're a 50% friend or that you can't trust them. It's that you know them. You know your friends.
Know your friend. Name the podcast.
And then you keep them at 50%. You make that choice to do that.
Absolutely. And then, so honey, I got my holes. I got my halves. Yeah. Then let's talk about my quarters.
Let's get into these quarters.
Let's talk about these quarters. Laundrymen, airing our dirty laundry. My quarters are friends that have offended me, have disrespected me, have crossed some lines, crossed some boundaries, but we were able to come back. But you know, once you cross certain lines with me,
there's no, you can't come all the way back. You know what I mean? It will never be the same again.
A quarter.
Yes.
And that's as far as you
all.
Go.
It won't, it just can't be the same. It's hard.
That's it.
It's hard to trust you with that information again. Like, I can be cordial with you. I can talk to you. We might even be able to go eat a burger or something, but it will never be like it used to be.
Never, ever, ever. And then also, my quarters are also friends that are friends with my enemies. You understand what I'm saying? Because there's no way I can be a whole friend or half a friend with you when you're friends with my enemies.
Come on.
I'm just saying, and they might not necessarily be my enemies, but I know you don't like me.
Right.
So, baby, I'm only going to give you 25% of me just in case you go back. You can only give them 25% of what I said.
Exactly. Because I know y'all talking.
I know y'all talking.
And I know they saying something. Because if we're friends, if we're whole friends, and you go back to the person that don't like me, and you name drop me, what is their face going to say? What are they going to say out of their mouth? Because you could come back to me and tell me what they said, but I could care less about what they said. I want to know what you said when they said it.
Absolutely.
So if you're my whole friend, then you need to be over there saying something to them. And if you really are saying something to them, then they aren't going to be comfortable with being your friend anymore. They're only comfortable with being your friend.
At the door.
Exactly.
Don't wait till things get out of control and then you go, oh, well, I wanted to tell you. What you mean you wanted to? You should have been told me.
You should have been told me.
So those are my quarters. So again, my quarters are people that I may have offended them. They may have offended me. Maybe we've crossed some boundaries, some lines, words got said, whatever the situation may be. But because we've been friends for X amount of years, or we've experienced X amount of things together, we still can be friends. We just can't be close friends. You understand what I'm saying? So those are my quarters, you know, and also they might be associates, friends with my enemy. So, you know, I'm only going to give you but so much of me.
So much of me.
And then we have the dimes.
Baby. The dimes.
Can we say the dimes?
The 10%.
The 10%ers. Amen. 10%, that's about all you
Are you paying your tithes and the friends?
Are you paying your tithes? Will a man rob God?
Yes, he will. In his offers and in his tithes. Okay.
I'm telling you, my 10%ers. Amen.
And he told me about this 10%.
My 10%ers, baby. I see you on Sunday.
Oh, Sunday.
If
we have a day service.
Hello. I see you at a holy conference. Okay.
Preach to them, Toni.
I'm
Preach.
Just saying, I'm not going to be randomly texting you out throughout the day. You're not going to get a random phone call from me. You're going to get a hug and welcome back.
See you bye. I love you, sis.
Yeah,
See you next week.
See you next week. My 10%ers. Those are my sister soldiers, my church friends.
If I need to get a prayer through, I might call you.
I might call you.
But baby, it ain't no extra stuff. Sunday morning worship.
That's about it. Amen.
And that is all.
That is all. But you know, I say that in all funniness and all reality, because honestly, you can't be vulnerable and open to everybody. You have to have limits, you have to have boundaries, and you got to know where you stand.
Right.
You know, you have to have value. Anything with great value, there's limits to what you can do with it. There's limits to where you can put it. There's limits to this, that, and third. Just like a rare diamond, you know, you just can't just go flaunting a rare diamond any and everywhere.
Exactly.
You just can't, you know, certain people, they have beautiful wedding rings when they go on vacations. You know what they do? They leave their wedding rings home.
Yep.
They leave them home, and then they'll go Walmart and get a cheapo, and then that's their vacation, you know, ring. So, you know, when you're a rare jewel or a rare diamond, again, you just can't. Everybody can't be your friend, and even those that you call friends, what percentage, what level are they considered friends? Are they the wholes, the halves, the quarters, or the dimes?
Come on, listen. When you said that in that car that day, I wanted to stop that car. I was cracking up. I said, I need to reevaluate my life.
Yes.
Like something, hold on, because I need to check who is in my circle, who is around me, and I need to put them in their proper place.
That's it. That's it.
This is, wait a minute, what's going on in my life? So it's all about the evaluating the friendships, evaluating your circle and people in your life, and putting them in their proper places.
That's it.
Right?
And guess what? You eliminate a lot of offenses. You know, people get so offended because they don't put people in their proper places. So when a situation come about, oh, your feelings hurt, or you know, I didn't believe she would do that to me. But baby, if you evaluated her from the beginning, you should have already known.
Right, the false expectations.
There you go.
Yes.
Know your friend.
Know your friend.
Honestly, know your friend. Know, you know, that again, like you said earlier, you know, I keep them at 50%. I keep them at, you know, 25%. I keep them at 10%. I keep them at a whole wide because I know their personalities. I know previous conversations, previous incidents, how it went down, how it was handled, and how it was settled.
I know my friend.
Amen. Know your friend. Know your friend.
Well, I like when you said you were not always that whole friend, because baby, listen, sis, I definitely was not. I don't even think I was the quarter friend. I was the dime friend. That's just the type of friend I was. I was over there, you know, doing everything. I was not loyal. I was not loyal to people. I was one of those ones that was like, oh, I don't really like hanging out with girls. You know what I mean? I hang out with guys. There's too much drama with girls. I ain't y'all friend. When initially I had to evaluate myself, like, because I wasn't a good friend. Like, all these girls just don't like you, not for no reason. You know what I mean? It's something that you're doing. It's something that, and you know, I was just the type that if I saw somebody that I wanted and he was your man, I didn't care if you was my friend.
I'm telling you, sis, journey. Let's go back. Let's go back. Let's journey.
I was going after. I was going after. Okay, I ain't care.
What did you do?
Girl, the better question is, what did I not do? Because
fix it, Jesus.
Because he fixed me. Thank you, Lord. Thank you. But I was the quarter friend. And I was girl.
Quarter friend. You out here taking these men's, girl. You wasn't a quarter friend. You was negative.
I was a dime. I was a negative. I wasn't even a friend. I wasn't even a friend. I remember I went to, when I was in high school. So I was talking to this guy and everybody would clown me because I was talking to this guy, right? And then as soon as I stopped talking to the guy, one of my friends got with him. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. And I think that's what set me off. After that, it was over.
You're competitive, huh?
I'm very competitive. I don't care what it is. Sports, like anything. I'm very competitive. So I was like, oh, okay, then that's what we doing. So as soon as that happened, like I started going behind her back. It wasn't like right away, but I started going behind her back and I would talk to him. And let me say this, it wasn't right away when she started talking to him. It was, months later, we were over it, whatever. But it was still the point, like, you was clowning me for this. So you clowning me, but now you talking to him. Okay. Okay. So that's where I think it all started. And then, I was going back and forth with other girls and then it just trickled down into my whole life. And that's what it was. It was kind of like, I had my hoes. I had my hoes and I had a couple people that I was hoes too. But it was just, baby, if you ain't one of these two, because literally it was probably like two. If you want one of these two, then I don't care nothing about you. And then there was this one really hurt me to my heart, right? Okay. So there was this friend that I had and she liked this guy. And she would always have me to go with her to see him and to call him for her. And I was like, oh my gosh. Because we kind of, and she was like my friend. Like she was one of the ones
so that she was the whole.
She was a hoe.
Okay.
She was one that I had never crossed, like never thought in a million years I would cross. But it was kind of like, and it wasn't one of those like, I'll take your man, because honey, that was me. I was like the salt and pepper, the ratchet.
You wasn't the cleanup woman.
I wasn't the cleanup woman. Okay, I was more ratchet than that. I'll take your man. So I was never this way with her. It was like, some things were just off limits. But it was kind of like I was very vulnerable, and it was like I just wanted love at this point. And so him and I started having feelings for each other, and it was kind of like I had to make a choice. Do I choose my friend or do I choose this man? And I started having these visions of, not real spiritual visions, but I just started imagining our life together and, I can finally settle down. I can finally get my life together, yada, yada, yada. You know what I mean? And so then I chose him.
Right. So you pretty much excluded the whole idea of her being your friend. And basically you were being selfish.
I was, girl.
Yes.
Is there another word for selfish? Because that was me.
Because that was it. Right?
That was it. And I remember the day that I had to tell her, like, because it was like, that's how much respect I had for her. Like, I had to tell her. This was not one of them, suck it up, buttercup, and go on about your business. I don't care nothing about you. Like, I legit cared about her. So I called her and asked her to come to my house. And I waited for her on the step. And I remember, like, I was also, I know a little, but I was also a fighter. Okay,
because I was about to say, did she swing on you when you told her?
I was also a fighter. But let me tell you something. I was so, this is how sorrowful I was, but my decision was going to stand. If she swung on me, I was going to let sis hit me.
Really?
I promise you. Now she wasn't going to beat me up, but I was going to, if she had one in her that she wanted to get out, I was going to let it happen because I deserved it.
Yeah.
I deserved it. And I knew I deserved to be hit in my face right now because this is just too much. And I told her and she got so angry and she didn't swing on me. She got back in her car and she drove off and she left. And I remember going in the house and crying and then I called him.
But let let me just take a break right there. You said you deserve it, but did you really deserve it? You know how sometimes you're emotionally, you can be so involved. You know, they have this thing, they say love is blind. And honestly, people can be so blinded by their emotions or their infatuation that literally the reality of what things really should be is oblivious. It's completely out of sight, out of vision, out of view. So at the end of the day, when you say I deserve it, did you really deserve it?
Right, that's true.
You understand what I'm saying? Because where was you emotionally? What was your emotional state? What was your mental state?
Girl, I wasn't mentally good at all.
Exactly.
At all.
Exactly.
Not stable at all.
Exactly. So that's when I said, you know, when you say things like I deserve it, but did you really deserve it? You understand what I'm saying? Because mentally you really weren't there. You really weren't really cautious of, you know, what you kind of knew it was wrong, but you felt like
I was
you've
choosing
been through
love
so much that you deserve this.
Yes,
you know?
and that's exactly what it was. I felt like I deserve somebody to love me. I deserve this relationship. I've been through so many crappy relationships. You know, I had just went through a relationship and I was out of that relationship, you know, and I finally found someone that like, ooh, you know, I ain't really felt this in a while. And not only not feeling this in a while, like feeling it come back at me in the same manner, you know what I mean? And so that was different. But girl, honey, let me tell you something. When I tell you I paid for that.
So, because I was about to say, so what was the price tag associated with that? What did it cost you? Ooh. You know, because karma forgets no one.
Nobody.
Trust and believe.
Listen, whatever you reap, whatever you sow, you gonna reap.
You will.
That scripture is so real because the price tag, girl. Not only did I lose my friend, it cost me. I know Jesus paid it all, but it cost me. Okay, it cost me some stuff, right? And that's funny. So I remember you said on the last show that a situation that was the worst relationship that you've ever been in. Girl, that was the worst 4 years of my life.
Wow.
It was the worst 4 years of my life.
Wow.
Literally. Like now that I think back on it, that 4 years, because it started off so well. It started off so well, like he was in college and I thought we had this future. I was like, you know, I even told him, I was like, hey, you go to school because I'm big on support. Like that's why it touches me so much when people, you know, enjoy my dreams and visions when I tell them, because I'm big on support. I'm like, hey, bro, you go to school because I got this baby. And I'm not going to school. I'm staying home, take care of my baby. I'm gonna work. I'm gonna pay the bills. I'm gonna take care of us. We good. You go to school. You get your degree. We gonna do this thing. We gonna live happy ever after. We gonna be a power couple. We gonna get this thing popping. You feel me? So all of that turned into, okay. So he talked me into getting my own place. So I moved out of my mom's house. I got my own place. He would stay with me, him, and my son. And then he was going to school faithfully. And after he stopped going to school, he came to me and was like, oh, yeah, I quit school.
You did what?
I'm sorry. Wait a minute. Let me go get a Q-tip because I ain't hear you right. You said you did who? You quit school.
For what?
For what? For what? So what we doing now? Hold on.
That's not the agreement.
This my life that you playing with now. Hold on. You quit school. Like you not. So it ended up being like, I don't know, money, finances or something. Then it turned into, I'm gonna go make this one drop. What? Okay. I'm gonna go make this one drop for my cousin. Okay. All right, okay. You gonna make this one drop. You gonna make this one drop, but one drop, okay?
One drop.
I'm gonna make another one. Hold on, let me just get rid of this for my cousin. Okay.
So it turned into a whole street farm.
Baby, listen, my whole life turned around. Do you hear me? My whole life. When I tell you Bonnie and Clyde clicked on high, it was like, I don't even know how I turned into Bonnie, but I turned into her out of nowhere. Girl, you know, you watch TV and you see the drug dealer's girlfriend.
You was that one. Faithful.
It was me.
You was a
faithful,
ride or die chick.
Ride or die. Like, I ain't leaving. We doing this.
We gotta stuff
you need to hide your stuff here where you need me to put it. Let's do this. So yes, my whole life shifted. I was like, I don't even know how I got here. You 2 years in now, you like, wait a minute, I don't even know how I even get here. How did I even get here? So my turning point even for that was, girl, one day I walked in the house and this boy and his friends was in my house cooking. And they weren't cooking no food. Baby, they were not cooking food.
Baby.
Honey, when I tell you my Bonnie turned on to a whole different level, because my son was upstairs, and I was upstairs with my son, and I just went through, something told me to go downstairs. And they was down. I usually when him and his friends downstairs, I wouldn't go down there because I know they just down there chopping it up, having fun, whatever. Something said go downstairs. Not only were they cooking, someone was at my kitchen table sniffing. Hold on.
Oh, wow.
Wait a minute, because now we doing something different.
Wow.
Okay. So
you got a whole trap house going on downstairs.
A whole trap house. Wow. I blacked out. I blacked all the way out. All I know is I went in there and started. I could have caught my whole house on fire. I almost turned the stove over. All the pots was on the floor. I turned the table over.
Wow.
Oh my God, my stuff. What? All I know is my son is upstairs. Like, what if you drop some of this on the floor and my son come down here in the morning and eat it?
Wow.
Like, girl. Wow. So that was like the turning point for my life.
Wow.
Then it started to get abusive. Then you talking about physically abusive, mentally abusive. Then the cheating started. Girl, I'm telling you, when I tell you I paid a price. And all I could think about was I lost my friend for this.
Wow.
I lost my friend for this.
So in no way, shape, or form was it worth it?
Girl.
No way.
No. I lost my friend for this. Like, this was my friend.
Like,
I lost my friend for this. My homie.
Like,
for this. To fight. For
stress, to be paranoid, Girl, anxiety,
paranoid wasn't even a word.
Like, you just don't know what's going to happen the next moment, the next second. You can't go out in public with him because you don't know who he flammed or who he did wrong or who he did dirty or who looking for him. You don't know if they're going to run up in your house. You don't know,
girl,
if it's gonna be SWATs or the
you
hood.
Don't know. You just don't the not coming home for days at a time. Days at a time.
Wow.
Me having to go look for him.
Wow.
Like, oh my God, girl, because I was a certified stalker. You need to know that. I'm coming to look for you.
Had the 2 stripes under her eyes in the bushes waiting to pop out.
Girl, because there were 2 bushes that I would hide my that I would put that literally, it was like my car, it was like outside of his dad's house, and my car would literally fit in between these 2 bushes, and I would turn my lights off waiting for him to come there.
You betrayed your friend for this.
Girl.
For this.
My friend.
This is how we ended.
My friend.
This is how, like, this, for this, for you.
I paid the price.
For you.
The price. Oh my God.
Wow. So that just goes to say, when you have a good friend, like a good friend, I don't care what you feel, what you're thinking, remain faithful. Because if you don't, karma will find you. Integrity. Let's talk about it.
Yes. Integrity. Your character.
With integrity.
Yes.
That she can make a decision. He can make a decision, the right decision, whether you're there or whether you're not. Let them be more fearful of karma and God than they are of your friendship.
Exactly.
Because I think that's the thing with you. You pretty much didn't fear the ending result, but in the same sense or in the same token, sometimes you got to go through certain situations to learn. But I have this famous saying that I always say, life don't change, it's just different people living it.
Just different people living it.
So if you're listening to this podcast right now, as we're talking about know your friends, what percentages are they in? And if you got you some good friends, you hold on to them. You keep them. You don't betray them by no means or no cost. You just hear what she went through. The story she went through from betraying a friend, like not even a friend, but like a sister.
She was my sister.
She was more blood than she was, friend.
Yeah,
she was. But
that's real.
Literally, you put all that on the line, and you can never go back to that. Like that friendship is dead. Like when I say dead, it would never.
You
be
can't
the
go
same.
back to that. Like even, I mean, we'll get into that later. But like we're cordial, but it's still, you'll never. I don't care how many years pass. Like you can never go back to that. But karma is real. I mean, and I definitely, I reaped what I sowed.